You're watching Explore Tulsa.
Tokyo in Tulsa is a Japanese animation and pop culture convention. We originally focused just on the anime and kind of expanded out because at the time we really didn't have a whole lot of fan-based conventions in the area. A lot of our conventions had closed, like Conestoga, and it wasn't too long after TNT started that Trek Expo closed, so we kind of added more and more science fiction and comic books to it, but it's still primarily a Japanese culture and anime convention. I'd actually grown up in sci-fi conventions and a couple of comic book conventions, but it was mostly sci-fi conventions. And anime conventions were so very, very different. One, it was a younger crowd. Sci-fi conventions are generally older. But this is a bunch of kids, and I noticed that what we ran into is the kids at the anime conventions were just thrilled to be there. They were always very courteous, they were good to each other, and it was just always a very positive vibe. Of course, like everybody else that starts an event like this, they don't know how big of an event how big of an endeavor it is. Our first year we had around 1,400 attendees, 12 or 1,400, which is really, really good for a first year convention. Because the first one was originally planned for 2007. We quickly found out that wasn't going to happen. And then, so we postponed it to 2008. And gave us that extra year. And over the course of 2006 and 2007, I actually traveled around the country and I did 44 conventions in 2 years, in which part of them I promoted and part of them I was just literally a fly on the wall in the back room watching what they were doing. So, and had a lot of convention owners around the country that I owe a lot to, just because they allowed me to just sit there and watch. Well, the first year we were in a hotel convention space, which is considerably smaller. Now we cover almost 500,000 square feet. Our game room, our video game room by itself is larger than our entire first convention. Our video game room covers 31,000 square feet. Of just, consoles and esports and video games. Same thing with the Artist Alley. Artist Alley is 32,000 square feet. So it's a much, much bigger endeavor now than it was back then. And then now we have 300 hours of programming between main events and all of our panel rooms, board games, collectible card games like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! We fly bands in from Japan. This year is Datura, and this is their American debut. It's one of our big things with bringing bands in, is making sure that this is the first thing that they see is Oklahoma. And then a new project that we started last year is we started bringing in fashion designers from Japan. We're expecting 9,000 to 9,500 this year, so big increase. We've grown every single year. 60% of our attendees come from Oklahoma, but the other 40% is all over the country and even all over the world. We have people fly in from Sweden, Japan, Korea. Who else do we have this year? Germany. We have a couple of people coming in from Germany this year. For 3 days, it's really cool to watch, and it makes the 12 months prior, because actually 18 months. We actually take 18 months to plan each event. We actually already have contracts out for guests for 2019 and have been going back and forth on those for 2 months already. So it makes the stress of the previous months well worth it.